Hello everyone, and welcome to Bourbon Bites, whiskey reviews with a gaming twist. I'm Clifton, and today we're doing GlenAllachie Speyside Scotch. I know, not bourbon, but stick with me, I promise, this one's really, really cool. Welcome everyone to a Saturday night stream. Normally these are my gaming streams. With a gaming twist. Oh, I hear myself. Today we're doing Okay, close out of that tab. We're good now. How's everyone doing tonight? So anyways, what I was saying was on Saturdays I normally do the whiskey and gaming thing, but I figured since Thursday was Thanksgiving, I missed out on a whiskey stream, so I want to do something a little bit, bigger for this Saturday. And I thought I have these sample bottles left over from a tasting I did of GlenAllachie. So I thought I would taste them today because there are a lot of them, and these are some really expensive bottles, so I didn't want to waste them and not do a stream with them. I do want to give a shout out to the Southern California Whiskey Club, which I am wearing their shirt right here. This was actually a tasting we did through them back in July, so it was kind of one of the first virtual tasting things they did, adapting to the whole COVID tasting. They used to do in-person tastings too, so big fan of them. If you're in the Southern California area, check out their website. Just Google Southern California Whiskey Club. You should find out about them. But let's say hello to y'all in the chat. I know a lot of y'all were chatting earlier. I got popped in a bit earlier. Saw Trev Wilson there, Sugar Kitty. Oh wow, there's a lot. There's too many. Okay, I'm not going to name everyone, but so good to see you. That was weird. So glad to see so many regulars and patrons of the show. Before we get started, I guess want to give my little shout out to my Patreon. We are at 30 patrons, which we kind of keep fluctuating back and forth. Mike Meyer, I saw him here in the chat earlier. He's actually our 30th patron. So congratulations, Mike Meyer. I don't know why I said congratulations, but thank you, Mike Meyer, for that. But so good to see so many patrons here, and like I said, regulars. But if you're not part of our Patreon yet, for as little as $2 a month, you can support the channel. The higher tiers get hangouts. Speaking of which, we are also doing our after party hangout right after the stream for everyone $10 and up. That's normally a Thursday thing, but I was like, you know what? I want to hang with you guys tonight, so keep an eye out for that if you're a patron. And if you're not and you're considering joining, now's a great time because you get to hang out with us on a Saturday night. But other than that, yeah, I do have some new merch. I don't know if you guys saw on Facebook. I have like a limited edition, 3 different designs on my Threadless store. All that info is down in the description below. They're currently on sale for 20% off for Black Friday, and the regular T-shirts are only $12. So it's a pretty good deal. I mean, honestly, I bought all of my new shirts with that deal because I'm like, that's such a good price. I'm gonna just buy them so I can have them. So if you want to check those out, I'll put a little ad for it at the end of my video here. But other than that, yeah, I mean, so good to see you guys. And like I said, that you can always be a part of our Discord, our Whiskey and Gaming Lounge. To find out more about that, just go to bourbonbites.com, and it'll redirect you to the app. If you're not familiar with Discord, don't worry, it's pretty easy to understand. Great little community there, and get to chat with you guys all week. But with all that being said, welcome to this GlenAllachie tasting. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not like most of y'all know this, but for people watching the replay, what's up? Hashtag replay squad. I've seen your comments out there for you watching the show. Juan, especially you. Juan goes through and watches several of my streams back to back. So hey Juan, what's up? But also everyone else watching the replay, welcome. I'm glad you decided to stop by today. But like I said, I am not a Scotch expert. I am a bourbon guy through and through. However, I have been dabbling in Scotch for about a year now, and I'm learning that I really haven't had much experience with Speyside distilleries, but I have had experience with Highland, and I think Speyside and Highland are pretty similar. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know you guys here in the chat will probably know more than me about a lot of this stuff, especially when it comes to flavor notes, so I'm relying on you guys to help me out. Those of you here tonight, I know most of you people are bourbon people too, but I know a few of you like other whiskeys too, so with that, I also want to shout out my mods here. Of course, Donnie the Linux Cat, Brian Bernanke, and Trev Wilson. There we go. I was like, wait, I saw him earlier. So you guys are awesome. Thank you all for being here on Saturday to help out with the stream. Thank you, Donnie, for dropping the Patreon info. Y'all can see it over in the chat over there. But yeah, what are y'all sipping on tonight? I know it's Saturday night. It's only 9 o'clock. That maybe you're just starting out or you've been drinking for a while tonight. I actually haven't been. So I need to get something in my glass, I think. I will say one note. I'm still expecting a package today. It's coming from Heaven Hill. I don't know exactly what it is. I have some predictions based on what other people got. So if that package happens to come during tonight's stream, we will do a live unboxing. So if you hear a knock at my door, I may have to just disappear for 10 seconds because I have to sign for it. But just a heads up, if you see me disappear, I'm gonna have to be really quiet because I'm right beside my door. But yeah, because they're not allowed. fun fact, if you're intoxicated and you have to sign for a package, they can refuse to give it to you because they're like, oh no, they're drunk, they're not getting more alcohol. So just pro tip. So I gotta calm Cliffy down a little bit when the package gets here. Sugar Kitty made a good point. They said Speyside is often a lot more sherry finishing. Well, that's definitely the case here today, and I'll talk through each of these expressions, just a little bit I know about them as a distillery, and each expression. So I guess let's go ahead and get into it. Now the first one, the weird thing is the first one is cask strength. The rest of the lineup is not cask strength except the final special one. So I guess we're going to start with the cask strength. I mean, to be fair, it's only 57.1% ABV. But the first one in the lineup is the GlenAllachie 10-year. Now let me talk about the distillery a little bit before we go into the whiskey. They were founded in 1967, but they actually had a series of closures and reopenings throughout the years. But in 2017, they opened as an independently managed company. So they aren't owned by a massive, corporation like a lot of whiskey is. They are an independent company. So that's pretty cool. That's number one. That's really cool. Their master blender is Billy Walker, who's been there since they rebranded in 2017. And the name GlenAllachie stands for, what does it stand for? I had it pulled up. Oh man, for those that you know, it's something that's like of the rocks or something. Glen of the Rocks. Maybe I should have had that pulled up. GlenAllachie mean. Let me just do my own Googling. I think it means the Valley of the Rocks. There we go. I knew it was something with rocks. So it means Valley of the Rocks. That's where the name comes from. I really like the font. It's very like Lord of the Ringsy. I don't know. Give me some Lord of the Rings vibes there. Sugar Kitty says anything from Heaven Hill is worth the interruption. So no, I'll sign for it because literally my door is my door's right there. So I'm the closest one to it. So yeah, let's go and pour this 10-year cask strength. This is their youngest. I think they actually have a new 9-year. But it's like a special finishing release. It's not part of their regular lineup, as far as I know. I could be wrong. So, Sugar Kitty, maybe they will forward it along. So this is the 10-year cask strength. Now what I'm going to do as I go through these is since we're going up in age, I'm going to keep a little bit of the previous release in my glass and then try in another glass just to see what I can find with that extra age. See if I'd pick out certain notes that are coming as the whiskey develops and comes of age. So that's my thought process with it so far. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so first whiskey of the night. Well, I asked you guys earlier what you all were drinking. I didn't see anybody. There we go. Oh, there we go. Richie says Glen Grant 16-year, and Wild Turkey 101 earlier. Good choice. I've never had anything from Glen Grant. I've heard the name before. Billy Walker, good Scottish name. That is right, Brian Bernicke. That's a very... I don't know if I gave you a shout out earlier when I was talking mods. If I didn't, what's up, Brian? He's also a good friend of the show and patron. If anyone tonight wants to support the show anymore other than Patreon, we do have super chats. So I think you should have a little super chat message pop up if you send one. Just so you guys know, it really does help support the channel, just like Patreon. I really do appreciate all the support I get from you guys, and yeah, I just want to let you know that was an option if you want to see your message highlighted with some sound effects. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get some sound effects tonight. Sometimes Streamlabs is finicky, which is what I'm using to broadcast this. So let's go with the 10-year cask strength now. Brian is drinking some Rebel Yell 100. Oh man, that's my little hidden secret. Don't tell too many people about that. Well, I say that as I've mentioned on my channel like almost every stream I'm talking about good value whiskey. Yeah, Rebel 100 is fantastic. I actually just recently did a Rebel Yell stream, so if y'all missed it, go check that out. We did the Rebel Yell and the Ezra Brooks, the new Distillers collection. So yeah, this is the 10-year cask strength. Now this is normally about $80 from what I looked up all the prices of these right before. It is made up a blend of a variety of barrel types. So it uses whiskey that's been aged in bourbon barrels, virgin oak barrels, and sherry barrels. And it's, like I said, it's only cask strength in their normal lineup. So we're starting it strong. Everything else is going to go down a little bit in proof. Like I said, this one is... What was the proof of this one? Yeah, 57.1. So it's not super high proof, but it's up there. So let's go ahead and have our first wisp of whiskey. Cheers, guys. Well, I guess I should nose it first. Now, it's been a minute since, like I said, I really don't have much experience with Speysides. I have had Highlands, but not necessarily Speysides. Sugar Kitty is got the Calumet. Ah, man, I see that word written, but I've never heard it said. Is it Calumet? Calumet? I don't know. You know me, my pronunciations are not that great. So this on the nose, it's very, very sweet. It's very very honey forward. You can't really like normally I get like a lot of graininess on something, especially like a 10 year. Like 10 years young in Scotch, so a lot of time I get like a cereal kind of grain, but I don't really get them on the nose. To me, it's really sweet, and I think that sherry is kind of pretty dominant up there. You know, it almost goes a little. Was it amaretto? Like, there's definitely some amaretto on that nose. Yeah, like I guess like an almond or something like that. But really, really sweet, very like honey forward. Definitely like sweet liqueur, like amaretto. So, cheers for real. Calumet, thank you. mm. That's cast strength. It's been a while since I've started with something cast strength at the beginning of the show. Whew. Gotta acclimate my tongue a bit. Now, you know how I said earlier I usually get like a cereal grain kind of note? Definitely coming through on the palate, like once I've actually tasted it. Really sweet cereal. Not necessarily as much of like a amaretto as I was getting on the nose, but it's grainy, but it's very, very good. It's like a Honey Nut Cheerios kind of sweetness. Maybe with like a little bit of like berry in there from the sherry. Like, don't they make like berry Cheerios? I feel like they have something like with yogurt that's like berry. I don't know. It goes like a little like yogurt, like berry yogurt. But it's very, very good. I mean, especially because it's cask strength. Y'all know I'm a sucker for cask strength, especially like with Scotch. Like, that's like my favorite kind of Scotch is cask strength. So this is really up my alley. Now, I don't know the actual batch. I think they do these in batches, so I don't know if this is batch 1, 2, or 3 or whatever. I just know the proof. So maybe if you're watching this video, like this picture right here shows batch. Oh, some of these will tell you which batch they are. That one doesn't seem to show you. Richie asks, "Am I enjoying my Scotch journey?" Well, Richie, I definitely am. I mean, I think at the beginning I was trying a lot of my journey, I guess, has been that I started out trying a lot that were reminiscent of bourbon. Like, people would be like, "Oh, if you like bourbon, you'll like this one," and I didn't really progress well when I was going that direction. I kept trying to compare things to bourbon, but I think the clicking point was when I tried a super peaty Scotch. I think I tried Octomore, and I was like, "Whoa, this is what I'm talking about." Now, that's still not my typical, like, I still prefer like a Highland now, but like that was what made me realize, oh, maybe I shouldn't seek out a whiskey that's trying to emulate another whiskey. Maybe I should go a whole different direction and discover like a whole new world of whiskey. So that was my journey with it, but I'm still exploring a lot. There's a lot of regions and distilleries I haven't gotten to yet, so very excited to, I guess, go along that journey with some of you, because I know some of you guys are also not super well versed in Scotch, kind of like I am. So cheers to us bourbon heads dipping our toes in the Scotch world. Yeah, the berryness kind of isn't as prominent as I thought it would be. And I think as we go along, a lot of these are aged even longer in sherry cask. I think it's going to get a lot more fruity sweet later on. This one is still very Honey Nut Cheerios kind of note. And it's not, I know Donnie's here earlier. Donnie and I kind of have a similar thing that we don't like in Scotch. And it's kind of like I hate to see, I'm going to lose all my Scotch viewers now, but I sometimes get like this bile kind of note in Scotch. Certain ones. This one isn't in this, so that's mainly for you, Donnie, and for my past self, who would always like, "Oh, Scotch tastes like vomit," but this one doesn't have that, so it's very, very good. Um, so Trev says, "I wouldn't say I'm on a Scotch journey, but I'm open to trying them." Well, yeah, I think I just have a lot of my local whiskey friends and the people at the California Whiskey Club. A lot of them are really into Scotch, and they're kind of slowly turning me on to it. There's a lot more Scotch tastings out here than bourbon, at least in Southern California. At least that's been my experience. Oh, there was one more announcement I forgot to say. We are very, very close to 2,500 subscribers. We were at, last time I checked, 2,491. So if you happen to be watching and you're not yet subscribed and you enjoy this content, mostly bourbon content, and some video games, of course, that's normally my Saturday stream, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Gosh, if we get to 2,500 tonight, I have a special whiskey that was also part of this lineup, but I didn't include it in the thumbnail. So if we hit 2,500 subscribers tonight, I'm going to drink it because it was a very, very limited release. In addition to the other limited release that y'all are going to see. There's another whiskey that I may pull out for hitting that occasion. So, with that, I'm gonna pull up so I can keep track of the subscribers over here, just in case we gain any tonight. And of course, that doesn't mean that go out on your like second account and go subscribe, because That's not fair. I want some real subscribers. But if you want to share it with your friends, like maybe if you're in a group chat and y'all like whiskey, like, hey, go check out this guy. That'd be awesome. Actually, we are only 7 subscribers right now from 2,500. Holy crap, guys. So if you're not subscribed yet, we might can hit it tonight and we'll pour something special. But right now, that 10-year that was a great place to start. I'm going to keep just a tiny bit in my glass as we move on to the 12-year. Yeah, so Donnie says he's curious about this. Oh yeah, this one's, it's pretty affordable too for a Scotch. Honestly, the cask strength is definitely, you and I would probably really appreciate the cask strength, but some of the other stuff isn't that pricey comparatively, especially for a new distillery. A lot of the newer not to say think of it like a craft bourbon distillery, but being 2017, that's very, very relatively new, and the fact that they are independently owned, that's really awesome. So I can't blame them for their pricing. So speaking of that, let's move on to Move on to whiskey number 2 tonight, which is the 12-year. Now this one is about $55 retail, at least in my area. It is aged in bourbon, virgin oak, and red wine casks. Now they do say red wine instead of sherry, so I'm not entirely sure why they made that distinction instead of sherry. It could just be that this batch, they use different red wine. But yeah, this one is 46% ABV. So at least it's not 40, but it's still. Fred says, "Got to check my alternate accounts." No, I want it to be real, guys. No faking it. But to be fair, no hard feelings if you're not subscribed yet and you thought you were, because I was just in Kilco's stream. I think it was yesterday, and I looked I was watching the stream just chatting away, and then I looked down. I was like, wait, I haven't hit the subscribe button. So some of you might be out there, maybe. We'll see. All right, so this is the 12-year. Like I said, it's about $55. That's the box for it right there. Oh yeah, this one starts leading into the fruitiness. I get way less of the cereal on it. But this is nose. I think the nose is kind of overwhelming with the sweetness. It's not necessarily the honey sweetness that we got on the 10-year. This is more of that red wine. The red wine's sticking out to me because the other one did have sherry finish. And I do apologize. Oh, we got a new subscriber. Crazy new F7. By the way, if y'all have alternate accounts, if I see Brian Bernicky 02 just subscribed, I'm gonna know. Now that doesn't mean that's the only person that subscribed, but thank you so much for subscribing. That's just the people that have their subscriptions public. So crazy new F7, thank you so much. I think you're putting us a little closer. Let's see what we got. Maybe it's just getting caught up because it's at 2493 now. So that maybe the chat, maybe it updated on YouTube before that came through. So Donnie said, let me know if you get any sulfur on the palate. Well, I haven't yet. What's up, Wheels? Good to see you, man. Hope to see you over the holiday season if I make it back to South Carolina, depending on the rate of things now. We have a new stay-at-home order in effect, so we'll see if I can make it home, but hopefully. That's more for large gatherings and stuff, which I'm not doing anyways, so shouldn't be too affected by that, but yeah, this, it's I guess I wouldn't say sulfury, but it is a little bit more that direction. But that's just on the nose. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. Cheers, you guys. Whoa. That's fruity. That is fruity. It's a weird fruit. It's not like a strawberry or a red fruit. To me, it goes it's like citrus, but almost grapefruit. Is that weird? It gets a little grapefruity. I was gonna try to pull up my flavor wheel to see what I'm leaning towards here. No, grapefruit's apparently a nose that you can get, and I did say citrusy, so it's it's not quite lemon and grape, but or lemon and orange, but it's kind of got some grapefruitness on it. Hey, what's up, Joseph? No, I am only on the 12-year, so I did the 10-year cask strength, and now I have the 12-year. So Wheel says he's had the 13-year single cask. I've actually not heard of that one. This is just their basic lineup with the addition of the special 1989 edition at the end. By the way, if y'all weren't aware, that's an over $500 bottle, so stick around for the end for that one. But there's another bottle that I will get into if we hit 2,500 subscribers. Yeah, so that let me go back for a second sip, because that took a weird twist with the grapefruit. It still has a little bit of that cereal sweetness, but the sweetness is way more directed towards that sherry now. And I think that's bringing out these really bright I guess not quite like, it's not like pineapple. I don't know, maybe I should just stick with grapefruit and try to like stop trying to dig deeper. It's got a little bit of like a floral aspect to it. It gets a little floral, but it's very, very approachable. And Donnie, you did mention sulfur there. There's it's a twang of sulfur at the very end, but it's definitely not off-putting. And I think that I get that a lot, especially with some sherry finishes, especially the longer it's in there. There is a little bit of like a sulfurous note at the very, very back end of the finish, but it's not bad at all. Oh, the Ralphie pick. I think, Wills, I think you and I have talked about this before. Someone else mentioned the Ralphie pick. Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm going to actually, do I have any more of that? Because I just drank all my stuff. Okay, I got a little bit more. That's the thing. So I'm reusing these 1 ounce sample bottles, but they were already halfway empty because I already did the tasting back in July. So I have very little to work with. But there's still some for me to do a little comparison between the 12 and the next one we do tonight. So I'll have some more of the 12 year. Then this is the 10-year cask strength I'm going to finish off real quick. Yeah, going back to the 10-year, I don't know if it's that 2 extra years of age or they're using different casks, but that 10-year is way more of a cereal grain versus the sweetness is totally like a Honey Nut Cheerios. I always come back to that note, but that's what that one is. The 12 is more of a sherry sweetness. So let's quit talking about that. Let's move on to bourbon. I need to take a shot every time I say bourbon. You guys take a shot every time I say bourbon. Whiskey number 3, which is the 15-year. This is a 15-year release, of course. This one is aged exclusively in Pedro Jimenez, I think I'm pronouncing that right, and Oloroso barrels. So this one is going to have, I mean, this photo, let's see how representative it is of the color, because that is dark. Let me see if my sample's that dark. Let me go ahead and pour that one. So Donnie says he thinks that sulfur was a common note in Speyside. Potentially. Like I said, I really have very limited experience in Speyside. Alright, so we're going to pour the 15-year. Oh, yeah, that one is dark. I'm about to show you guys. Wow, that is such a drastic difference from the 12-year. This one is dark. Now, this one is still 46% ABV, so it's still... But that's a lot darker. It's hard to kind of tell on camera, but so much darker. Now, it is 15 years exclusively in those Oloroso barrels. Oh, man, that nose. Man, if they release this at cask strength, I'm sold. Now this is about $75 for this one. Like I said, not at cask strength, but if they made a cask strength version of this with those PX cask and Oloroso, man, I would buy that in a heartbeat. Yeah, that's like a rich fruit. Like that definitely goes down to the raspberry kind of notes. Yeah, like a... Oh, not like strawberry, but it's kind of goes back to that yogurt kind of quality to it on the nose. I got my nose real deep in there, and so I almost sneezed. Yeah, that one's up my alley. Let's go and give it a taste, though. Cheers. That is thick. That is viscous. That has all of those Oloroso sherry notes that I really, really enjoy. I've had a few PX casks throughout my time. I think the Deanston 20 year, which is one of my favorite sherried scotches, I think that's also PX cask. I could be wrong. If there's anyone in the chat that knows what Deanston 20 uses, this is giving me those vibes. Like that's what I'm saying. If this was at cask strength, hell yeah, that would be my jam. So, going back to it, let's see if we can pull out some notes with the palette here. Yeah, that's really dark. So even though I was getting those like rich, darker raspberry notes, there is still some citrus here. It doesn't go the grapefruit direction at all. This one's more traditional orange peel kind of note. This drinks like a really nice wine. Like I feel like the way I'm pulling out the fruit in this is the way that I would pull out fruit from a wine, especially with the mouthfeel, with how thick this is. This is an exceptional whiskey. Honestly, even compared to the cask strength, y'all know I'm a cask strength freak. Hands down, this one's my favorite so far. Now I do want to go back to the 12 real quick just to see what kind of comparison we can make between the two. Oh, that's a good point. Donnie says compare it to Aberlour Abuna. Now Abuna we don't actually know the age of, I don't believe. but that one is a cask strength one. So Donnie, that may be a good point. Maybe for the if you're able to join us for the after party hangout, which like I said, everyone $10 up on Patreon gets invited to the after party hangout, I will definitely grab that bottle. Now, to be fair, I did just pour all of it, so I don't really have anything to compare it to. So I will just hold it in my memory of how this tastes. But right now, I'm loving it. It's delicious. I'll leave a little bit more. See if I can. I don't know. We'll see if we can hold on to that for the rest of the night, and then maybe we'll do it in the after party. I just don't have any. Well, this is gonna be. I'm just gonna put a little bit in here, just so I have a tiny bit to compare for you, Donnie. There we go. And I'll just pour the rest in there. I just need to remember that's not my dump glass, and that's my that's my return to this glass. So Dave M says, always enjoy watching your live streams. I appreciate your knowledge and the community here. Cheers. Well, Dave, thank you so much for stopping in. I feel like I haven't seen you on a stream before, but if you have been, sorry. But if you're not, welcome. So glad to see you here. And welcome to the community. Like I said, speaking of community, we do have a Discord server where we get to chat and hang out and do all sorts of things. So if y'all have not joined that yet, just go to bourbonbites.com. It's super simple. And join the Whiskey and Gaming Lounge over there. So this is, I'm going back to the 12 real quick just to do a quick comparison. Okay, so Peter, welcome Peter. He says Deanston 20 is Oloroso. Deanston 10 cask strength was PX and Killer. Oh, gotcha. So yeah, it does have Oloroso. Now this is going back to the 12. Like the 12 is good. Don't get me wrong, but once you start introducing those really rich sherry notes, I fall in love. Like that's like totally me. So I really enjoy that. The 12 is good. Don't get me wrong, but that 15 is awesome. What's up, Mark? Make sure I didn't miss anyone else that came in. Glad to see y'all here hanging on a Saturday. I know this is not normally my time, but I'm making up for Thanksgiving. Now, I do go live on Saturday nights normally, but normally it's a whiskey and gaming stream. So if you like video games and that kind of stuff, tune in on Saturdays this time. Sometimes we pair it with some retro games. Sometimes we go modern. We play like a new release game, but always a fun time. Now, let me check my subscribers just in case, because I don't want to hit that 2,500 and not know. All right, we're at 2,494, so not quite 2,500, but getting there. So let's just making sure. Because I feel bad, because sometimes I'll miss someone, like, will join Patreon, and I don't notice until after the stream. So, okay, just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone out. So, let's move on. That 15 was delicious. But let's move on to the next one in the lineup, which is the 18. Now, this 18 is interesting. It's starting to get interesting. Now, this is $160 in my area. So, this is a very pricey bottle. This one also only uses sherry casks. So, this one, it's not going to be, I don't think, as rich as those PX casks that we got on the 15 year, but it should still bring us some of that flavor. So I'm just finishing off the 12 here real quick. All right, so let's move on to the 18 year. This is also 46% ABV, just like the rest. Yeah, Richie, I'm a huge Deanston fan. I actually have a Deanston 18 that I haven't opened yet. I need to do that soon. It was on sale for, I mean, it was $100, but I am very excited to get into that one. A friend recommended it to me, especially because I love the Deanston 20. I know it's not quite the same thing, but he said, like, if you love the Deanston 20, you're going to like this too. So I'm very excited to get into that one. All right, so this is the 18 year. Like I said, not nearly as dark as that 15 year. Hey, Patrick, no worries. Thank you for stopping in. We had like a little impromptu hangout last night, so hopefully y'all are still up for the official after party hangout tonight. They went on for longer than me. They were going and going and going. I was like, you know what, guys, I gotta go to bed because I gotta do a stream tomorrow and I gotta do a hangout tomorrow night. So, but see, that's the advantage of joining the Discord. You can just hang out randomly with people when you're bored. I mean, it's such a fun community. But on the nose, I will say the nose on this one is very, very good. It's very reminiscent of the 15. Richie says I should enjoy the Deanston 18. Well, that's great to hear. Oh man, this is I think what I'm starting to get the oak. Like this 18 year point, I'm getting some real depth here, and I think that's coming from the actual age of it. No, the age didn't really stand out in any of these other ones. Maybe the 15, but this one I can tell that age has done a lot to this whiskey. So let's go ahead and get that in my mouth. And it's already in my glass, in my mouth. Cheers, guys. So this one to me, it's very dry. That's the first thing I get on. It's very dry on the tongue, kind of like makes your tongue do a little tingle. It's reminiscent of the 15. Don't get me wrong. It tastes more of like a blend of the 12 and the 15, kind of taking some of those sherry notes out, but also imparting a lot of oak. It's still not that, cereal grainness. It's definitely leaning towards. I think that's where the shift happens. Like I think someone said earlier, it may have been Sugar Kitty. The the younger ones lean towards that cereal grain note, whereas once you start getting past a certain age, like 18 years, that gets replaced by a really well balanced oakiness. Because again, it's used oak, so it's not going to take on the oak impact as quickly as a bourbon does. But this tastes very, very mature. Yeah, it's got that sherryness. It's a well balanced. I would say this is definitely the most balanced of them all. The 15 kind of shot out there with those sherry notes, but I love that, so I'm okay with that. This one balances that out with the oak. Still got that citrus, that orange peel on it. Um, I'm still looking for that grapefruit because I got it that one time. I'm like, I gotta find the grapefruit. I can't find the grapefruit anymore, but I'm still getting a orange peel, like a little bitter from that. But honestly, that's definitely the most balanced one. Now, would I pay? What I say that one was? That one was $160. Would I pay $160 for it? Not me personally. Personally, I wouldn't. But everything up to this price point, I would have bought. So that's my opinion so far. Now we still got some more interesting ones to go down. We're only going up from here. Is all I got to say. Just getting hot. Thank you, Donnie, for sharing those links. What's up, Brandon? Brandon said just stopping in to say hey to everyone. Hashtag Replay Squad. Yes. Shout out to the Replay Squad. I already gave a shout out earlier, but shout out again. So Peter says the 18 is Oloroso PX and Virgin Oak. Are you talking about the 18-year Deanston, or are you talking about this one? Because this one just says only sherry cask. That's the only thing. Tom says, wait, is this a Scotch show? I'm late. Yes, Tom, it is. It's Scotch, but I did put the disclaimer. I'm a bourbon guy. I'm just dabbling in this world of Scotch. But these are some really, really nice expressions, and I'm very glad for the opportunity to try them. Thanks again to the Southern California Whiskey Club. Check them out if you're in Southern California. So, yeah, I still got a good bit of this 18 year. I'm going to sip on that a while. We're about halfway through the stream here, and I've got 2 more whiskeys to go, maybe a third if we hit 2,500 subscribers. We're like 6 away, guys. Double checking to see if we're still at that 6 away. Yeah, still 6 subscribers away. No, I know there's not much you can do because you're already here, and if you're already subscribed, you're awesome. But if you have some friends that you want to invite over for the first time and to check me out, we could hit that number tonight, and I'm gonna pour a very special whiskey if we do. If not, no worries. I'm just glad to have y'all here. So this 18 year though, I'm going to leave a little bit more because I do want to compare it to the 25 because that's a big jump in age. That's the biggest jump in age of all of these. So let's go ahead and move to the 25 year. Now this one, let me put up the picture here. All right, this is 25 year. First of all, that box is sexy as fuck. Look at that. That is like black and gold. That is such a sexy box. This one is a little bit higher proof. It's 48%. Now, that's probably most likely due to it being in the barrel longer, so it's going to evaporate a bit more. But yeah, this one's 48%, 25 years old. Now, this one is aged in sherry and bourbon casks. So it still has more. It has more of that bourbon influence than the other ones have, because we haven't had a bourbon finished one since the 12 year. So we're reintroducing that bourbon oak to it. Let's see how it affects the palate though, because 25 years, up to 25 years in a bourbon barrel, that's pretty long. No, I do say up to 25 years, other way around. At least 25 years in a bourbon barrel. Because if you know, with Scotch, much like bourbon, the age that you put on it has to be the youngest whiskey in that blend. So all of this whiskey is 25 years or older. So just wanted to make that clear that it wasn't younger than 25 years old. Now this one, price point on this one is $270. Getting there, wow, I don't know why I stuttered right there. Getting up there in price, definitely. I mean, that's definitely, that's already past my price point, but unless we're talking like a Pappy or something, but that's pretty pricey, but let's see if it's worth it. Ooh, that nose, that is, Man, that's the most delightful nose of any of these. And I think it's that added, reintroducing the bourbon cask to it. That, instead of the 18-year definitely brought out some of the oak characteristics, but the 25-year, it brings out the oak caramels and the oak sweetness, much like a well-aged bourbon. Now, it's not going to be like an over oaked bourbon because again, these are used barrels, but it's still got those influences. At least on the nose, I've just smelled it so far. Yeah, that's definitely like barrel sweetness, like barrel sugars. I think some people call it. It goes deep, dark into those baking spices more so than any of the other ones. Still got a lot of sherry though. I mean, that sherry is it's just because the bourbon cask is reintroduced doesn't mean that it is overwhelming the sherry. I think it's again just like the 18, extremely well balanced. So there is a question. Tom asks, why is it that bourbon might get worse after a certain age, whereas Scotch seems to be better the older it gets? So Tom, at least in my opinion, I think that definitely has to do with the fact that with Scotch, for the most part, they're using used barrels, so the oak influence is not going to be as impactful on a Scotch as it is a bourbon, because bourbon has to be in brand new charred. It doesn't. I guess it doesn't have to be charred. I don't know. Maybe it does. You guys again are the experts, but it has to be a new oak cask. So that's why bourbon imparts way more flavor way quicker. So if you leave a bourbon in a barrel for 25 years, that bourbon. I mean, I may or may not have just bought a 25-year-old Heaven Hill bourbon, or was it 24-year-old? Did you guys see the Single Cask Nation release? I bought it, so that will definitely be reviewed once that arrives. I know it's arriving in January, so keep an eye out for that. Now that one is a little weird because it spent 12 years in Kentucky. It is a pre-fire Heaven Hill. It spent 12 years in Kentucky, and then it went to Scotland and aged for another 12 years. So I think it's 24 years. So we'll see how that one is. But this is a 25-year-old Scotch. So again, it's not going to be nearly as over oaked. Hopefully that answers your question, Tom. At least to the extent of why I believe that it wouldn't affect it as much. Man, I could just sit on this nose forever. But I haven't tasted it yet, so let's go ahead and taste it. Man, I think the nose, honestly, though, it draws me in so much, and I see why this is a $270 bottle. Cheers, guys. Wow. That drinks. I honestly would have thought that was cask strength. That drinks like a cask strength whiskey. Man, that finish is something else. It's still going. I'm still getting the sherry, the oak on the finish of it. That drinks to the level of a cask strength whiskey. Now, like I said, it is up there. It's 48% ABV, so it's a little higher. Wow, 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 wow. That's some special stuff. Sugar Kitty with the answer to the question earlier. They said if it's bourbon, it has to be charred. If uncharred, they have to call it whiskey. Gotcha. And that's part of what a lot of Texas distilleries. That's why a lot of their stuff is just called whiskey, because a lot of times they don't char the barrel. At least some of the distilleries. Some of them do, but same with I think Michter's American is a similar thing, because Michter's American they blend in. Maybe they don't blend in. Michter's American, they do something with like uncharred barrels. I don't know. I need to investigate. I need to do a whole stream going into like the difference between what a charred barrel would impact on a whiskey versus an uncharred barrel. Because I know there's some distilleries that do some experimenting there. Man, that 25 on the palate. That needs a second sip for sure. Yeah. The baking spices are so prominent, and that sweetness from the barrel. I mean, it goes into more of those notes that I would probably get from a Heaven Hill bourbon. That baked good, like walking to a bake shop and getting a freshly baked good stuff with like strawberry filling or something. That's definitely that territory of flavor, like at least on the flavor wheel of my limited bourbon experience. So to me, that drinks like a. Yeah, like it's just a delight to drink. Now, again, the price point, $270. Would I personally pay it? No. I honestly, I'm one of those people that puts things into perspective of, value proposition. So, like, yes, something may be exceptional whiskey, but if it's $270, that's way over my budget. But if it's something that's really impressive for, like, the 15-year being $75, being, like, outweighing its class, I guess I would say, I'm more impressed and more likely to buy that. So that's my justification. Now, some people may prefer to, spend $270 on this exceptional whiskey that they can. I mean, I've only drank a little bit of this, but man, if I had a bottle of this, I could sip on this for so long and get so much more from it. So this is just a little taste, like kind of like a not first impression, second impression of this whiskey, but I'm really, really digging it. Do I think it's my favorite? I mean, flavor wise, yes, it's definitely my favorite. But overall, when you consider the value, I still think the 15-year has it beat. But man, that's a fantastic whiskey. Oh, I do want to keep a little bit because I like doing the little side by side with the as we age up. So let me go back down to the 18-year real quick, just to do a quick little comparison, jumping from 18 to 15, 25. Let's see if I get some certain notes that developed a bit further in the 25. So Donnie says with Miggers, he thinks they reuse the barrels. Why they call it not bourbon? That's a good point. It is used barrel, not uncharred. So I apologize for that, but that's a good point. I mean, there's a lot of different distilleries that are doing some experimenting there. Most of them will char the barrel to call it a bourbon. Going back to the 18, I said earlier that I didn't get as many of the cereal grain notes, but in direct comparison with the 25, they are definitely there on the 18. I didn't notice them at first because I was going from young, but now I'm going older to young. Definitely some of that on there. Now, again, 18 is great. Is it worth $100 price difference between the 18 and the 25? That's kind of like a you decision. If you are someone that knows like you appreciate an older Scotch, you're definitely going to appreciate the 25-year. But if you're someone like me that has very limited Scotch experience, I think the 18 is probably the better buy. But still, the 15 is my jam because it's the strong sherry influence. 18 is great though. Well, at this point, I think we should move into the highlight of the night, the one that I am most excited for, most excited to revisit. We are 4 subscribers away. We are at 2496. Oh man, we might have a new highlight if we can get 4 subscribers in the next 18 minutes. We can drink another whiskey. Maybe go a little overtime, drink another whiskey. So, man, you guys keep inviting your friends or doing whatever you're doing because we're getting real close. All right, so let's move on to the highlight of the night, at least before we get to the special whiskey. So this one's a hitter. This one is their 1989 release. Now, they've done a couple of these. This was, I think, originally done to celebrate their 50th anniversary of, I guess, the original distillery. But this one is 29 years old. Not just that, it's also cask strength. 29 years old, cask strength Scotch. Now, this is exclusively sherry casks, again. So, like, similar to the 18 and the 15. $535 is the cheapest I could find it. Now, that could just be because it's not available anymore and it's kind of like hit secondary prices. But right now, the cheapest I can find this bottle is $535. So, let's clear my glass and make some room for that one. What's up, Cool Running? Good to see you. Thank you for stopping in. You stopped in at a good time because we are going to a very, very expensive whiskey. So this one is 55.1% ABV. Like I said, there are a few different releases of this. They're all at different proofs. But this one is 55.1. So, man, I'm excited for this one. There's Donnie being an amazing mod. He says, mash that like button. Yes, if you hadn't hit the like button yet, very easy to do. That's something you can do even if you're subscribed. So if you hit the like button, that really does help out the channel, help get my numbers up in the algorithm so YouTube starts recommending my videos and maybe get new subscribers. And of course, yes, please hit the notification button. You'll get notified when I go live. I'm pretty regular about it. Basically, I upload a new video on Tuesdays. I go live on Thursdays. And then I also go live on Saturdays for the gaming and whiskey stream. So, thank you, Donnie. Appreciate it, man. So this is the 29-year-old 1989 almost said Glenfiddich. I don't know why. GlenAllachie. What cask number now? Unfortunately, I don't know that one, Cameron. It was part of a tasting I did with the Southern California Whiskey Club. I can, if you really want to know, shoot me a message. You can email me at contact@bourbonbites.com. I can connect you, or I can connect with the person that put on this tasting because maybe they still have the bottle. I don't know. But I do know that this is the 55.1% ABV. Now, I did Google that. So maybe hold on, let me see if I can pull that up real quick for you. Because I was able to find that one. 55.1. Let's see. That tells me the batch number. I'm looking at it on Whiskey Base. It says bottled October of 2018. It does not tell me a batch number, though, unfortunately. It says a cask number. Cask number is 2510. That's all the info I'm able to find on it. I'm sorry. I wish I could. Yeah, it's single cask 2510. At least the ones I'm finding online, at least in that proof, it seems to be. So So I don't know. I mean, I'm not super. I wish I knew more to be able to tell you more, but I'm just going off of what I have on the little mini sample bottles. So, oh man, this one is a whole another beast on the nose. This one goes into some weird territories now. Yes, it's 2510. Which, by the way, welcome, Cameron. Good to see you here. Oh man, that one, that goes directs me right back to the 15. Everything I loved about that 15, those really really rich. Now this one, it's dark, but it's not nearly as dark. That 15 was way darker than this, but it's pretty dark. Again, it's 29 years old. I mean, I would hope it I would hope it had some color on it. Now, I don't believe they do any adding of colors to their whiskey. I can't verify that because I don't have a bottle. Usually, it would tell you if there's color added. But yeah, I mean, it's the appropriate color I would expect it to be. I wouldn't expect it to be any lighter than this. On the nose, that is really really rich fruit. Back to those, like almost a fig. I would go almost fig with this one. It takes like the raspberry that I got earlier, but it takes it darker, and it goes more to like a plum or like a something like darker versus citrus, at least on the nose. Let's go to give it a taste though. This is probably the most expensive whiskey I've ever tried. So cheers, guys. Speechless. Whoa. That drink's unlike any scotch I've ever had before in my life. Now, my limited experience with scotch. That goes. So, those of you know, I'm a big fan of Irish whiskey, especially Redbreast, especially at cask strength. Basically, there was a limited edition Redbreast that came out last year, I believe. That was a 14-year small batch at cask strength that was also sherry finished like this. This is bringing me into that world. That sherry is, it's not really as thick as the other one, but man, the way it just envelops the palate, that goes graham cracker. That goes, I gotta get another sip. I can't just keep babbling. I gotta dive in for a second sip. Yeah, that's like a malty. It's definitely the most malt forward than the other ones, but really really rich. And I don't want to say round because that doesn't really make much sense, but it's no, it's not spiky. Like, I guess I like to say it's well rounded. I guess it's the more appropriate term. It's hitting a lot of different flavor profiles. Like, it goes into the, of course, the dark fruit, but the oak is not as apparent as it was on the 25, which is interesting. I think it's because there's just so much impact of that um, sherry finishing. Now, we don't know the blend. We don't know like what percent of it was, sherry aged, what percent was well, no, wasn't this one all sherry aged? Let me double check. Yeah, this one's all sherry cask. So now we don't know if this was like first fill, second fill, third fill sherry cask, but definitely I think there's more sherry in there than the 25 year. But that's delicious. I mean, like I said, if you're someone that appreciates Redbreast Irish whiskey, I mean, if you're someone that appreciates this, $80 Irish whiskey, go out and buy this $535 Scotch. No, just kidding. But it does remind me a lot of that one, and it reminds me of the things I love about that one. That one is definitely the most special tasting. I will say I don't want to say that I prefer the 25 year over the 29 year. I think the 25 year was more my style, basically because it reminded me a lot of what the 15-year offered, but it was more balanced out with that bourbon cast. So honestly, okay, my favorite of the lineup so far, trying the 10, 12, 15, 18, 25, and 29, taking into account the values, at least the values that I was able to find online, I think, honestly, I got to go with, it's still a toss-up between the 15-year and the 25-year. The 25-year is the most delicious, like, balanced. Honestly, I really enjoy the 25-year, even more so than the 29-year, just because it hits all the right check marks for me and what I like. However, that's $270. The 15-year is $75, and it has it's a sherry bomb, and I'm a big fan of sherry bombs. So for me, I think I would probably pick up the 15-year. Now, if they made a 15-year cast strength, yes, I would pay up to like 160 probably for that. Not 270. That's a bit much for me, but overall, that was a fantastic lineup, and I appreciate the guys over at Southern California Whiskey Club for putting it together for us back in July. I'm gonna check my subscriber number just in case we hit it. Let's see. We're still at 2496. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys think we should? Do you guys think we should dig into this one just because? I'm just gonna see how many likes we got here. We got okay, we're at 19 likes. Okay, let's see if we get 20 likes. If we get 25 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button yet, let's see if we can get up to 25. Let's see if we can do that. If not, I'm just giving myself. I honestly just want to drink another whiskey. So let's see if we can get to 25. Let's see if if you guys have any other questions for me about this, about upcoming tastings. Let me know. But let's just see if we can get the 25 likes. Then I might get into this other whiskey. Now I don't have the artwork pulled up for that, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that pulled up just in case we hit that. Well, Patrick's saying save it, but it very closely relates to GlenAllachie. It actually came with the tasting, so oh, we're at 24. Wait, we're at 27 likes. Holy crap, guys! Wow. Okay, well y'all really liked it then. Okay, well let me pull up the right information about it because I don't know much about this one. I'm gonna share my screen with you guys, see if you can. Actually, I don't really have a good way to share that. Let me see if I can save this image. I'm just gonna pop it up. Okay. Well, Brian, you'll get a little message pop up here shortly. I'll wait for that while I pull up this image because I want to show you guys the bottle. All right. I'm just going to pull up this photo of the bottle. It's not going to be as well edited as the other ones, but it's at least going to show you the bottle. I just want to make sure. I don't know the year on this one, but all right. Actually, it's transparent. Okay, there we go. Let me hide it. Okay. Brian Brunicki says, $10 super chat. How about a super chat to drink it? Well, you don't got to ask me twice. Y'all know a dollar makes me holler. So, so this one is the GlenAllachie. Now, this is not the GlenAllachie. It's not under the GlenAllachie name. However, it is on their website. So let me see what they say about it on their website real quick. Because this one is an interesting one. This one is a blend. Let me pull it up real quick. I just want to make sure I have all the right info because it's a weird one. All right, so this one is MacNair's whiskey. Now this one is another super chat here. Tom says for $5 he says, I agree with Brian, super chat idea. Well, thank you guys so much for that. Thank y'all for the super chats. I appreciate that. Yes, we didn't hit our subscriber goal, but hey, there's some new viewers in here now. So I am 4 subscribers away from 2,500. So if y'all haven't hit that subscribe button, come along for the ride because we're really close to that 2,500 number. What's up? Adriana says do a barrel roll. Yes. So appreciate you guys so much for the super chats, and of course we'll go a little overtime thanks to you guys. So this one is MacNair's Lum Leek. Now this one is a blend. It marries together peated Islay and Speyside malts with older GlenAllachie. Now this photo is of the 12-year. I don't actually know if that's the one we had. I do know it's 46% ABV. So this could be the 12-year or the 21-year. I don't know, but it's blending it with a peated Islay whiskey. So at the end of the bottle is pretty weird looking anyway. So let's go ahead and try this one. It's going to be very different from everything we've had tonight, but why not? I was going to see if I can find out. I just want to see if there's a chance I can find out what year this is from. So I just want to. Oh, that's a good point, Donnie. Yeah, I'd actually forgotten that part from the tasting. Lum Reek means chimney smoke, and that's actually where the name came from. It sounds weird because they quiz us on that. It's like, does anyone know what Lum Reek is? And like, no one knew. I always have to make sure I'm spelling it right. I'm seeing if I can find out what year this one is that we're tasting. So, no, it doesn't show me the year, so I don't have the actual bottle. It was back in July, so I don't remember exactly. We'll say it's at least 12 years. How about that? So, oh, Cameron just subscribed. Oh, thank you so much, Cameron. That means we are going to be even closer to 2,500. Oh my God, we're 2 subscribers away. Thank you so much, Cameron, and other person who's just subscribed. Man, we are 25. Oh, we're 2. Oh wait, I mean, I'm still gonna drink the whiskey, but maybe we can hit those 2 subscribers during this I don't know. I don't have anything else planned. That was the surprise. Let's go ahead and pour it, cause who doesn't like mixing something with an Islay whiskey? Floridian says it says 2.5 thousand. Okay, so mine says 2498. I'll double check it. Maybe sometimes it takes a minute to refresh. So let's go ahead and pour the Reek. Yes. I want to see if they said something about. Now we do know this is matured in first fill bourbon, PX cask, and red wine cask, but they do blend in some peated whiskey. So now MacNair was an alchemist, so that's kind of what it's named after. Lang may your lum reek, literally translate long may your chimney smoke. Yep, may you live long. Thank you, Donnie. Yeah, that's actually an aspect of the tasting that they told us, and I completely forgot. It's actually cool. It's cool that it's like a tribute back to, I guess not like a legend, but a I guess legacy. So I think that's really, really cool. Chris says, "Ooh, a Scotch night." I know Chris is one of the ones to blame for my Scotch journey. So, wow, this one's so different on the nose. It's still very sweet. Now, I did say it is PX cast as well. Okay, Donnie, don't want to be too desperate, but I appreciate it. Yeah, if you're not subscribed, we could hit that goal tonight. It would mean a lot to me. So, but and for those of you that are new to the channel and you want to show support, like I said, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/bourbonbites. We're gonna do a hangout after the show tonight for everyone, $10 and up on Patreon. So if you want to support the channel that way, I'm so glad to have so many new faces here. So I'm just making sure. I always don't want to miss a Patreon notification if that comes through. So let's go ahead and try the Lum Reek, shall we? Cheers, guys, and thank y'all for almost or getting there. We'll see. First of all, that's peated, yes. If you're not a fan of peated, avoid. However, that sherry impact of the GlenAllachie that's in there really, really brings it down and tames it a bit. Now, this drink's like a higher proof peated Scotch. I've had some cask strength peated stuff. This kind of reminds me of that. It's kind of hitting me the same way the 25-year was. Like, it drinks way higher proof than you would expect it to be, being at only 46% ABV. Oh, Cool Running also subscribed. Thank you so much. Yeah, there could be a lag on YouTube. I'm just refreshing here on this screen just to see. It's still showing that, but I'm going to trust you guys. I'm going to go to my channel and see what it says. Let's see what my channel says, because it says 2.5. So you know what? We're going to make it official, even though it's not official. Maybe my other channel will catch up soon. Well, thank y'all so much for helping me hit 2,500 subscribers. That means so much. We just hit 30 Patreon supporters. I'm hitting all these records before the end of the year, and it's all thanks to you guys. So I don't want to. It's so weird cheersing you with like a peated Scotch, but this is still, at least it's like a blend. Okay, there's some good stuff in here too. Yeah, I mean, after tasting some of the really, really high-end stuff, this doesn't impress me as much as I thought it would, because I knew it was I knew it was an interesting blend. Still really, really good. If you can find this, it's really interesting, something very, very unique. It's something I'd never had before. Yeah, it's smoky, but it still has a lot of that fruit pastry note that I get in the 25 years. So Donnie asks, how would I compare it to Ardbeg, Lagavulin, Lafroig, or Highland Park? So this one, definitely, if I had to pick one of those that it's most reminiscent of, to me, this one, now they don't say which whiskey they blend in here, so I don't actually know. If I had to take just a wild guess, it's giving me some, I don't want to say Ardbeg, but it's got some of those like those meaty notes. With Ardbeg, that smoke I get is a lot of like a meat, like a barbecue. But it's also kind of leading like Lagavulin, so I don't know. I mean, maybe someone does know. They don't reveal on their website what they're blending in here. But I will tell you, it's a good one. So there's that. I just wanted to throw that in there because I knew it was going to be. It was included in my original tasting anyways, so thought I would throw it in for you guys tonight for hitting that amazing goal. So with that, thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate all the new faces and all the familiar faces. The peated Scotch is coming back up. All the new faces and all the familiar faces. Like I said, if you never met me before, hi, my name's Clifton. We do whiskey reviews with a gaming twist. I hope to see you all on Thursday night with my regular whiskey stream. Adriana helped me out with the cheat. I warned people. I said, don't go on with your second chance. Go on your second channels, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta help me at that number. So I appreciate it, Adriana, and everyone that subscribed here tonight, and all of you that have always been subscribed, or not always, but for a while. So cheers, guys. Like I said, we're doing the hangout over on Discord for Patreon members, $10 and up. But even if you're not that, check out our Discord. You can just go to bourbonbites.com. Really fun community where we chat whiskey, we chat video games, and overall, we just hang out. And there we go, Adriana with the other subscription. Thank you so much, Adriana. That's awesome. So no, even if my official counter in my channel dashboard doesn't say it, I'm taking y'all's word for it. It's still stuck at the $24.98. So we are at $2,500. So cheers, guys, and thank y'all for helping make it happen. Until next time, this has been Bourbon Bites. So I'll see you guys on Thursday. Keep an eye out for a new video on Tuesday as well. Still planning out what I'm going to do with that, but it's going to be something fun. So see y'all on Thursday for a very special sneak peek Redbreast stream. We are going all the way with Redbreast. We're going Redbreast 12, 15, 21, 27. So very, very fun stream plan for next week. So that's a little spoiler. Shh, don't tell anyone. All right. Cheers, you guys. See you next week.